It's time for you to stand up. It's time for you to stand up and take your frickin' country back. It is time for you to get on the phone, or you know what, better yet, forget about those clowns. Start campaigning for you. Go in and serve yourself and serve only one term. Do the right thing. Doesn't seem a lot to ask, but apparently it is. It's time to hold our feet to the fire of our leaders. That's why I'm kicking off a brand new segment on this program called Explain Your Special Project. After all, if you want Americans to pay almost $1 million for a nature education center, then you damn well better be able to explain it on the air. And if you won't, or you can't because you're awfully busy, you may have cost us some money, but I'm sure there's some Americans out there who will make it their mission to cost you your election. So explain your special projects. I've got nothing but time for those Republican senators, those Republican congressmen, and the Democrats, too. Here's Republican Senator now, Jim Demint, who is against the earmarks. Hello, Senator. How are you?
Hey, Glenn, this is a good day not to be an earmarker on your show, I tell you.
Yeah. Were you sweating just a little bit? Oh, geez, he could go crazy today.
Oh, man, I'm so glad I hadn't asked for earmarks in several years. But you're right, Glenn, you're right. We have to get mad at everybody. It doesn't matter Republican or Democrat, because earmarks are the gateway drug to all this bailout money. It's totally perverted the purpose of Congress. We don't even deal with national issues anymore. We're just dealing with roads and bridges and sewer plants. It's messed the whole place up. So you're right to call on people to get angry.
Okay, so here's the thing, Senator. I am gravely concerned about our country, and this, I'm getting written up by these stupid blog people saying, oh, you wouldn't have said this about George W. Bush. I did say this about George W. Bush.
Yeah, I did too.
I am concerned about our country, not the president, whoever he might be at the time. And we keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and this president is amazing because everything is overwhelming. I have a staff here at Fox. We got 35 people in the basement whose job, all it is just to read this stuff. I've got a radio staff. I've got a magazine staff. I've got a publishing arm of my business. Nobody can read all of this stuff. It's overwhelming what's coming. What do we do? How does the average person react?
Well, I think Americans are trusting, and for years, despite all the politics here, they've generally trusted folks in Washington to do the right thing. I think they're finally catching on to we're not doing the right thing. We're not reading our bills. Fortunately, folks like you on the outside are reading those bills and telling people what's in them. And people are getting outraged.
Can I tell you something, Senator?
Sure.
There are people on radio and television that are Republicans or Democrats, liberals or conservative. I think there are very few Americans, because Americans would have stood up for right and wrong on both sides of the issues. You stood up today for the fairness doctrine. I have to tell you, right. I told my radio listeners today, I really don't know how a government that is this out of control allows somebody like me on the air. Whether you disagree with me or not, I have a right to say these things, and there are a lot of people that feel this way. Thank you for supporting the anti-fairness doctrine bill, but you think that's really going to work? Because they'll just want to do the fairness doctrine. They'll just call for localism.
Well, they'll keep trying, but Glenn, the reason I won the vote today and forced 87 senators to vote against the fairness doctrine was because you and thousands of other radio talk show hosts, TV hosts have told Americans the truth. And if we tell them the truth and ask them to get engaged, they'll get engaged, and they'll email and they'll call, and I think more and more of them are going to be demonstrating on the street, and we can take back this government, but they need to know the truth. And that's why they don't want you on the air, is they don't want Americans to know the truth.
Right.
But today, Americans knew the truth, and the senators backed down, and we passed a bill against the fairness doctrine.
Okay.
But we haven't won yet. They'll be back.
Oh, yeah, they will. They'll do us do it in another way. It's never what they say it is. The fairness doctrine, by the way, is just to shut down radio so it's balanced. And I'm actually all for it, because I want to be the first nationally syndicated host on NPR. But that's what the fairness doctrine is. But they're not just going for radio. They are also going for the internet, too. It's not just my voice or anybody else's voice. It's going to be everybody's voice that disagrees. Senator, thank you so much, sir.